Welcome back to Podcast and Chill. I'm Gwen.
And I'm Leo.
So guys, have you ever spent hours cramming for finals only to forget everything the next day?
Isn't that a rite of passage for learners everywhere?
I bet. But what if studying didn't have to be such a drag but easy, quick, and dare I say, fun?
Sounds kind of wild, right? But that's exactly what we're here to help you with.
Today, we'll share 6 science-backed tips that make learning feel almost illegal because they work so well.
Stick around until the end, and your GPA will thank you later.
And don't worry if some of the vocabulary is a bit tricky. We'll explain it all at the end of the episode.
All right, let's get the ball rolling. Let's cut to the chase. What's hack number 1, Gwen?
So, since we have only 24 hours a day, let's figure out how to make the most of our study time first.
I'm listening.
The first one is Parkinson's Law.
That sounds like some kind of brain disease. Is it?
Ha ha ha, fair guess. But nope, totally unrelated. It's just a coincidence they share the same last name.
So what's the actual law?
Basically, it's work expands to fill the time you give it.
I don't think I get it.
It means if you have 3 hours to do a task that could take 1, chances are you'll take all 3.
Why would I do that? That feels so inefficient.
Because when you have all the time in the world, you're more likely to procrastinate, overthink, or waste time doing stuff that's not actually important.
Oh, sounds like my aunt. She always falls prey to this.
Really? How so?
If she plans to deep clean her kitchen with a whole afternoon free, it becomes a 4-hour mission.
Relatable.
But you know what? If she knows guests are coming in an hour, that same kitchen will be spotless in 45 minutes.
I would get along with her, I swear.
For sure. But does this law have to do anything with studying?
Take a wild guess.
I think it's about the time we should spend studying.
Carry on.
If too much time backfires, maybe we need less time. So, give ourselves tighter deadlines?
Bingo. Don't just roll with whatever deadline you're given. Think about how long the task really takes, and then shave it down a bit.
How much time should we give ourselves then?
If you're having trouble committing to a task, try setting a 20-minute deadline.
20 minutes? I can handle that. But what if I don't finish in time?
No big deal. Just keep going. Once you're in the zone, it's easier to stay there than to stop.
Oh, right. We talked about this before. Our brains hate leaving things unfinished.
That's right. And an extra trick is to set a timer for that 20-minute deadline.
What's the timer for?
The beauty of the timer is that it creates an immediate, gentle urgency. Knowing that clock is ticking down keeps you locked in and away from distractions. No mind wandering, no doom scrolling.
Not gonna lie. That sounds ridiculously simple, but also a bit intimidating.
But the good definitely outweighs the terrifying, wouldn't you say?
Hard to argue with that. All right, what's the next tip to make studying a little easier?
This one's called Explain It Like Einstein.
Einstein who? The scientist?
Yep, that's the one.
So, do I have to explain things like a genius?
Actually, it's the opposite. Einstein once said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Interesting. But how does that help?
Because true understanding isn't just memorizing facts, it's being able to break a concept down in a way that's so clear that even a 5-year-old kid could get it. That shows you've really got it.
That explains why I'm basically a master of my niece's schoolwork now. She's 8, so I have to simplify everything.
What's even better is when you simplify it for someone else. And hit a part you can't quite explain, you know it's time to review.
That's so true. I was helping her with fractions the other day, and honestly, I think I finally understand them better now than I ever did in school.
That's the magic of this study tip. A bonus cool trick is to record your explanation and play it back.
Why?
Because you'll quickly hear where your understanding is solid and where it's not quite there yet.
Makes sense. However, we still have one problem. We don't always have someone around to listen to our little lectures.
Just pretend. Teach your imaginary class. Say it out loud and walk around like you're the professor.
Sounds a bit silly, huh?
Who cares if that works?
You're not wrong. I think I'm gonna give this tip a shot soon. Anyway, what else can we do to make study easier?
Stop rereading, start testing.
Are you sure? I thought rereading my notes was the way to go.
It feels productive, but it's mostly your eyes skimming the page while your brain checks out.
Ugh, guilty. I mean, it's true. I reread a ton but forgot everything the next day. But what do you mean by testing?
In this context, I mean to try to pull the info out of your brain without looking.
Oh, like closing the book and seeing what I remember?
Exactly. After you read something, close it, then try to say or write down the main points. Keep in mind that it doesn't have to be perfect,
Even if I blank out?
especially if you blank out. That's your brain working.
How so?
When you check your notes afterward, your brain fills in the gaps, and that's how the memory sticks.
Oh, it's like working out. You stress the muscle a little and it grows back stronger.
Lovely analogy. And if you want to make it easier, use flashcards, either physical ones or apps like Quizlet or Anki.
I used Quizlet before for vocabulary. It actually helped.
Maybe it's time to bring it back?
Probably after this episode.
Alright, so far, we've tricked our brain with timers, explained stuff like Einstein, and stopped pretending rereading helps. Now it's time for something super simple but super powerful.
That's my vibe. Hit me with it.
So, do you know your brain focuses best in short bursts? Like 25 to 30 minutes max?
I do. That's why I always zone out after half an hour. But how do we work with that?
Once we understand how our brain tends to work, we can totally use that to our advantage with a method called Pomodoro.
Pomodoro? Isn't that a pasta sauce?
Haha, yeah, it means tomato in Italian. The method is named after a tomato-shaped kitchen timer,
That's kinda hilarious.
but effective.
So, what's the technique?
You set a timer for 25 minutes, work with full focus, then take a 5-minute break. After a few rounds, take a longer break. Keep repeating until you're ready to call it a day,
And this actually works?
like a charm.
But doesn't taking a break make you forget stuff?
Nope, quite the contrary. As biologist John Medina points out in his book, Brain Rules, getting enough rest actually helps your brain process and store information more effectively, literally pushing it into your long-term memory.
So the break isn't slacking, but a part of the learning process.
Pretty much. It prevents burnout and keeps your brain sharp.
That's a relief. I always thought taking breaks meant I wasn't working hard enough.
You don't have to run yourself into the ground. Pausing isn't quitting, it's preparing.
So what should I do during those 5 minutes?
You can walk around, grab some water, or just simply rub your eyes. Anything that refreshes you. Just don't scroll on your phone.
Noted. Now I'm ready for the 5th tip.
Work smarter, not harder.
Hey, everybody knows that. But how?
Well, use the 80-20 rule.
Let me guess. Study 20% of the time and chill for 80?
I wish. The idea is 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts.
Huh?
Think about your closet. You probably wear the same 20% of clothes 80% of the time, right?
That's true. But does this rule have anything to do with studying?
It's the same with studying. 20% of your material often shows up in 80% of the test.
So, we should focus on only that 20%?
Yeah. In other words, focus on the important stuff first.
How do we know what's important, though?
You can do a quick practice test or quiz before you study. It'll show you what you know and what you don't.
Oh man, that test would be a train wreck.
And that's totally fine. The goal isn't to ace it, it's about quickly identifying your weak spots, so you don't waste precious time reviewing stuff you already know.
It's like finding the shortcut up the mountain. Kinda strategic. I like it.
Yes, strategic studying saves time and energy. Another trick to figure out what to prioritize is to pretend your test is tomorrow. You'll instantly know exactly what you really need to focus on.
Honestly, for the first time, studying feels doable, like I'm actually in charge.
That's the whole point. When you study smart, you take control.
Couldn't have said it any better. So, are you ready to drop the final tip?
Well, the final tip is the one most people skip, but it's what makes everything else actually work.
I'm all ears.
Sleep and a little movement.
That's it?
That's it.
But I thought we were talking about study hacks, not health tips.
We are. Sleep isn't just about rest. It's when your brain goes to work organizing everything you learned. If you study and then sleep, your brain literally strengthens those memories.
So you're saying I could read something before bed and actually remember it better?
Yep. But it's not just about timing. It's about getting enough sleep too.
What do you mean?
If you're sleep deprived, your brain can't store or recall things properly, no matter how hard you studied.
That actually explains a lot of my all-nighter failures.
And movement matters too.
Ugh, don't tell me I have to go to the gym.
No gym needed, Just move a little, stretch, walk around the block, or even dance in your room. Whatever gets your blood moving.
But how does that help with studying?
Moving boosts blood flow to your brain, so you get more oxygen and nutrients up there. It helps you stay alert and process things faster.
So if I go for a short walk after reviewing flashcards, that helps me learn?
Totally. Pair that with a good night's sleep, and your brain will practically be thanking you.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? We're basically using brain science to make brain work easier.
That's the beauty of it. Knowledge isn't power unless you use it. And figuring out how to learn better, that's what smart learning's all about.
That was a lot of brain food. How about we hit pause for a sec before we jump into the vocab?
Totally. Close your eyes and let them rest a bit. That helps with eye strain and lets your brain soak up all that info better.
And grab some water too. When you're hydrated, your body and brain don't feel so stiff and tired.
And once you're feeling refreshed, we can move to the vocab section.
When we get there, try saying the words and example sentences out loud. It helps your brain connect the sound and meaning and makes it easier to remember.
And if a word or phrase is hard to remember, try picturing it in your head and link the word to an image. That sound-image meaning combo works wonders for memory.
You can also jot down the example sentence in your own language. It's a great way to make the word more personal and easier to recall later.
All right, take your time. Hit pause if you need to.
We'll be right here when you're ready to keep going. Hey, it's time to unpack some of the interesting vocabulary we use today.
First, cut to the chase.
It means to skip the small talk and get straight to the main point.
For example, let's cut to the chase. What exactly do you want from me?
Now, let's repeat after me. Let's cut to the chase. What exactly do you want from me?
Second, fall prey to something, someone.
It means to be harmed or influenced by something or someone, often in a negative way.
For example, many teens fall prey to online scams without realizing it.
Again, repeat after me. Many teens fall prey to online scams without realizing it.
Third, roll with something.
It means to adapt to a situation, even if it's unexpected or difficult.
For example, we didn't plan for rain, but we'll just roll with it.
One more time, guys. We didn't plan for rain, but we'll just roll with it.
Fourth, break something down.
It means to explain something step by step or in simpler parts.
For example, can you break this math problem down for me?
Say it out loud. Can you break this math problem down for me?
Finally, run oneself into the ground.
It means to work too hard or push oneself until completely exhausted.
For example, she's been running herself into the ground trying to meet the deadline.
Repeat after me. She's been running herself into the ground trying to meet the deadline. Good job! You're doing great!
Now that you're all set with that tricky vocab, why not re-listen to this episode to catch all the details we discussed?
It's awesome, isn't it? 6 hacks, and not one of them involved cramming or suffering.
Let's run through them real quick. 1. Set a short timer and use Parkinsons Law to trick your brain.
2. Explain things simply, like you're teaching a 5-year-old.
3. Stop rereading and start testing yourself.
4. Study in short bursts using the Pomodoro method.
5. Focus on what really matters using the 80-20 rule.
And 6. Whatever you do, don't skip sleep and movement.
Pick just one trick and try it today. You'll be surprised how fast your brain learns when you treat it right.
Which tip are you most excited to try first? Tell us in the comments.
And pass it on. Send this episode to a friend who's totally stressed about studying. Sharing is caring after all.
Remember, one smart move today can save you hours tomorrow.
Thanks for hanging out and chilling with us today.
We'll catch you in the next episode.